My name's Tony. I'm a 20-year-old student at McGill University. I study cognitive science and world cinemas, and I'm gonna try stand-up comedy. I've always loved stand-up, like watching it and stuff, because to me it's like music, right? No one hates music or comedy. These are just things that everybody enjoys. Like, you wouldn't trust someone who says that they hate music or hate comedy. It's so intrinsically unique to the human experience, you know? You hear a rhythm and you're just compelled to tap your feet. You hear something funny, you're compelled to laugh. It's what makes us human. Anyway, I'm a multimedia producer at the McGill Tribune, and this year they asked us all to do feature pieces. Around that same time, a friend of mine said to me, "Tony, you should do stand-up." Which is like what everyone says to their friends, right? It doesn't like mean anything. My video is gonna be about me trying stand-up.
Oh. Wait, are you serious?
Okay.
You're funny. Yeah, I've laughed at.
But I don't have any better ideas, so.
Have you ever noticed salt shakers? I mean, you fill them up every night at closing, and I mean, where does it all go? Huh? You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. First things first, I did research. Tons of research. I wiki-howed that shit. I even bought little journals to carry around to write down funny things if they came to mind. Anyway, I think I have a plan. All I need to do is to come up with some jokes and get myself on a stage. It's simple, right? You know, I went to quite a few comedy shows last year around Montreal, so I figure if I want to stand a chance, there's someone I need to talk to. If you go to McGill University and have a Facebook account, chances are you've heard of Nicholas Krywolke. He's a psychology student at McGill, but he's better known as a party promoter, an event planner, the man behind Feedback Montreal and its hedgehog parties, you know, Breaker of Chains, Mother Dragons, all that. Nick Krywolke. Oh, and I mean, he's also a comedian, so I figured meeting him would be a really good place to start. Just waiting for Nicholas Krywolke. It's supposed to be in about 10 minutes. So he took a little longer than 10 minutes, but he got there eventually, and we had a really nice chat.
I study psychology here and unemployment.
What got you into comedy?
My psychology teaching assistant first year for like a 204 psych stats.
Yeah, I think I've seen her.
Yeah, shout out to Sarah Quinn. I was like, hey, I talked to you one time about comedy, blah, 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 how do I get involved? And then I came up a couple weeks early and did Grumpy's Bar. Any advice? You're going to be really bad. People are going to think you're terrible, and you're going to feel terrible about it. Yeah, I would say you probably have to do it 5 times. But it really is a performance, and the reality is it takes experience to get good at the performance aspect.
He also gave me some more technical performance advice, and then he sent me on my way. The next thing I did is I just went to see some comedy shows, because the vibe's way different when you're seeing a show live versus when you're like watching comedy specials on Netflix horizontally in your bed, you know? I went to see a show that was put on by the people at the Plumber's Faucet, which is a comedy magazine here at McGill, and there was some really funny stuff there. This one guy, Harrison Weinrab, just had me in stitches the entire time. It was really great to watch. I went to see a newbie show as well, which is this really cool thing that Nicholas Krywolke puts on, where he lets people who haven't really tried comedy before try it for the first time, i.e. me. So I spoke to him, and I'm going to be performing at the next newbie night, which is in about a week. Look, either this goes well, in which case this becomes like an inspirational story about following your heart, or I bomb up there. But that's good content too, because I can show people that, like, hey, it's all good, because I'm sure I'll make it out there alive, and the message can be, what is there to be afraid of? why did I think that filming myself doing this would be a good idea? Am I just this narcissistic? Anyway, I'm going to be meeting with Sarah Quinn soon. She's a good friend of Nick's, and she recently got her PhD in psychology from McGill. And on top of that, she's a brilliant comedian, and so I'm going to have a chance to sit down and talk with her. Hopefully that'll be helpful, insightful. My chat with Sarah ended up being just that. We talked about how she got started, the state of comedy, and she shared some advice with me as well. Back to how you got started in stand-up.
How I got started? Well, I've been interested in comedy all my life. I was going to a conference in Austin, Texas, and I was supposed to present this one research project I'd done, but then it was given to another graduate student. I just wanted to do something. I wanted to be productive while I was there. So I thought, I'm gonna do stand-up. And I'm in Austin, Texas, so if I bomb, I'll never see anyone again. Everything you can do wrong as a comic, I'm probably doing, but I got laughs. Probably because I had 15 friends in the audience, but there's some things where I'm like, I can still kind of use that if I change it. And I thought I'd be nervous. I'm constantly just a nervous, anxious person until I get on stage, and I just felt instantly comfortable. I have life fright. I don't have stage fright.
So just advice for someone who's starting in comedy.
This is just my advice for any new comic is I would say don't be afraid of failure and fail up. It feels good to be good at something, but you have to push yourself out of your comfort zone. And in order to be great at something, you have to open yourself up to failure. So you got to try a joke that you think might not work, or open with your best joke, so then you don't have anything to close on. Or do a room where it's not packed with your friends, or do a room with an older crowd and you think younger people like you more. Just get as much stage time as possible, and get stage time where it's not going to be easy, and let yourself fail and know that it's only going to make you better. That's probably my number one advice.
We even talked about her PhD research on rejection, which was really interesting. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Why am I not doing a documentary about rejection? Why the fuck did
a comedy documentary is slightly a documentary about rejection. You could go on stage, you could kill, you could have the set of your life. It's always something with comedy.
Rejection, of course, is relevant to this story. I just had no idea how relevant it was going to be. You see, 5 days before my performance, my girlfriend of 2 years and a bit broke up with me. I'll spare you the details, but suffice it to say, it was a bummer. Luckily, though, by pure coincidence, a really close friend of mine was visiting Montreal. 3 days before my show, I told him I had 2 jokes for my set, and I was kind of freaking out. So, for a variety of reasons, we got really intoxicated, and I pretty much wrote my entire set that night. So much for those little journals I was carrying around, right? Country road, take me home. My parents never vaccinated my sister. I always wanted to be an only child. The night of my performance was fast approaching, and before I knew it... So as you can probably tell, I'm Asian. And it's tough sometimes, it really is. You ever go out, you have a wild night, right? The next morning, you're on your phone, you're checking social media, and you see all these pictures that you don't remember being in because you were blackout drunk. That happens to me so often, all the time, so much. Except then I realize it's not me in the pictures. My parents are very ahead of their time. They never vaccinated my sister, and things turned out fine. I always wanted to be an only child. I figured, what does God look like? And one of the other things that was way up there, people have been searching this, and this is interesting to me. What does God look like in real life? I don't know. I'm not sure. I just didn't think you were supposed to run into him. Just at Provigo, oh God, oh, I'm sorry, oh, God. Guys who pee by unzipping their fly, but not touching their button, and then just shoving their hand into their fly hole. You gotta dig around a little bit, trying to fish it out. Like when you're high out of your mind and you're trying to get the last bit of peanut butter out of the bottom of the jar, just scoop it in there. And so if you do that, Instead of just being like a normal person, you're a sociopath. You lack empathy. Okay, that's my time. Thank you so much, guys. You guys are amazing.
One more time for Tony Wang, everybody.
Well, I did it. It's like I just got up there and I blacked out. I'm gonna have to watch the footage again to see how I did, to be honest. All I know is that I had a good time. Though I suspect I'll have to cut out most of those jokes. I definitely want to do this again. I had a lot of fun. I know that doing 5 minutes at a newbie night in front of a crowd with friends in it is not a big deal, but as underwhelming as this might sound, that's kind of the point. It wasn't a big deal at all, but it's something that I've always wanted to try, and now I have. Even if it didn't go well, I'm sure I would have been fine. The comedians that I met, the people that I spoke to, they were all so kind and supportive. It really is a welcoming community. Go out there and do stuff. It doesn't have to be your white whale. It doesn't have to feel like you're achieving a lifelong dream. I can promise you, nothing great will happen if you stay in your comfort zone. So just do the thing, or write the thing, or make the thing. Just do the damn thing, and I'm sure you won't regret it.